What's up? I'm back with another video, and I got a lot to talk about. I did a video a few days ago, just on my YouTube growth journey, you know what I'm saying? And I'm used to averaging maybe 200 views on a good day. And a recent video that I did, which is the last one, about should I have been a DL man, it has been my most watched video ever. Ever. And I was excited at first, like, yes, your boy is finally talking about some ish that people want to hear from me, right? But that video has caused inward tension that I want to talk about because my awareness is heightened right now. Of course, I got a lot of feedback on the video, mostly love and mostly people understanding. A lot of people decided to follow me, and if you're back watching again, I really appreciate that because we're on a journey together, right? But I was expecting that video to do what most of my videos did. A few views here, maybe a comment or two, maybe a like or two, and that's it. We on to the next one. But because it didn't, and it continued to grow, and I started to look at the analytics, an insecurity started to come up within me that showed me something about myself. It showed me that there is still a part of me that has not totally accepted all of me. And I discovered that because in thinking about this video getting out there, I start to think, well, who's seeing it? Well, it's okay if strangers see it, but what if people that I know see it? Yes, I've had the conversation with them, but in this video, I cement my stance. In this video, I'm broadcasting it openly, proudly, if you will. I'm talking about the things that are often kind of like, yeah, we know, yeah, you've told us, but we're going to pretend. We're not going to ask you about that. You know what I'm saying? So I started to feel this uneasiness, like, am I bringing shame to my family? Am I in conversations that are not speaking well of me? Are people going to label me as the gay motivational guy? Is this going to be my identity going forward and my brand will just be centered around gayness? And if the answer to those questions is yes, then why am I unsettled with it? Now, before my Holy Ghost gangsters get in my comments, if you come, you may not come, don't get in my comments talking about, well, you're unsettled because the sin and that. I'm so past that, and I'm going to do a video about that, reconciling my relationship with God and my sexuality, because I believe that's a really a place that a lot of people just really get stuck on, and I was that person, so I want to speak to that. But this video is just about the fact that even at almost 40 years old, there's still, it's not big, it's not strong as it used to be, but it's there. And so my question to myself is, will that always be there, or is this openly my opportunity to work through that publicly in real time? I'm not talking about working through something 5 years and then coming back and saying, I used to be, no, making that video and uploading it and the views coming in real time is forcing me to have this conversation with myself. And I would rob my growing audience and growing community here of that opportunity to grow with me as I am really growing in the trenches of this thing. You know, sometimes we go through experiences and we just assume it's a one and done. But a lot of times it's not. A lot of times you are consistently plowing in the field of whatever that thing is that you're fighting to obtain. Oftentimes it's not a one and done. It's one and it's settled. It's not that. It is a continual fight forward. And while I have made tremendous grounds in this place in my life, that video allowed me to see that I'm not completely free. And that's okay, because with this awareness, I'm going to intentionally work towards that. I think what I've done with my life is leaps and bounds past my greatest expectations as a child of what my life could look like. The life that I live. I was thinking the other day, I was having a conversation with a friend. He sent me over I ain't gonna get into what he sent me over because I started a whole another conversation. But he sent me over a text, and we exchange it back and forth, and we kind of get into a whole situation about relationships. And he's just like, y'all just old and boring and this and that. And I thought about that after we exchanged those texts. I was like, I have such an amazing life, a life that is surrounded by peace, tranquility. We do well for ourselves. We ain't billionaires and millionaires, but we're able to travel, able to do things, able to, get out. We have a child together. We have a great co-parenting relationship with his mom. Like, like I got great friends. I got a dog, like life. I got time and time. I ain't here to brag about anything that I have. I'm just saying that the life that I live now would have been the wildest fantasy of the kid version of me. But I also realized that even in my outness and my proudness, that is minimum, because I am still trying to make sure that I don't ruffle any feathers. Even with my outness, even with my proudness, even with my directness, there is a version of me that minimizes and try to make sure that I don't make anybody feel uncomfortable, even in that. And that's weird saying it out loud, right? It's kind of like I'm gonna share this, I'm gonna put this out there, but I'm gonna intentionally avoid certain conversations because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. And I don't believe that your sexuality and you standing in your truth has to directly make anyone feel uncomfortable, or you don't have to directly, like, I gotta make you understand this. It's not that, but it is a awareness that I've had, and I'm continuously having, that I see how you move when you talk to this person. I see how you move when you talk to this person. I see how you kind of pull back, and you almost like you're a puppet. You're pulling this part of you back, you put in that place, and you don't do it at a level in which you're walking in deceit, but you do it at a level where you can still fit in. And I don't think fitting in is bad. I think it's the why do I feel like I gotta fit in? Why do I feel that I gotta make sure you're comfortable? After years of being in my skin, I've had more of my life living in a state of being uncomfortable with who I am than comfortable. I've only started to get really comfortable with who I am within the last maybe 10 years of my life. And I'm 37. So 27 to 37 is actually the evolution of me getting comfortable with who I am. So for 27 years going reverse, I've spent majority of my life uncomfortable in the skin that I'm in. I spent majority of my life feeling weird when somebody asks me, so you ain't, what the hoes at? You ain't got no girls? I know you got some girls. I've spent majority of my life having those awkward conversations with females when they start to develop a crush on me, and I'm like, I'm having to redirect that energy. I've spent majority of my life pretending that I like sports, like so that I can fit in with the guys club. I've spent majority of my life rectifying my sexuality and spirituality. So most of my lived experience is uncomfortable. So here it is at 27 that I burst into this evolutionary version of myself, and I stand here in the 37th year, still seeing remnants of the old, thinking in my mind that I've surpassed all of that, only to understand that I'm just an evolved version of that, which is not bad, but I still got work to do. I hope I'm making sense. I still got work to do. I did a video several months back, and I said, coming out is an ongoing experience. It's not a one and done. It's not a Facebook post. It's not a family meeting. It's an ongoing process. And I dare to even say that the theme of coming out is not just isolated to gayness and queerness. It is the echo from your soul to say that I have permission to exist and to be respected. So everybody in a sense is coming out. You're evolving, you're standing in the truth of that evolution. Gayness is not the only community or culture that is able to pull in and say we're the only one that can come out. But I'm telling you that even in your coming out, you're going to have to keep coming out until one day the closet in which you have derived from is no longer even standing. You turn around and the closet ain't there. How do you know you're there? I don't know yet because I ain't there clearly. I'm closer than what I was 15 years ago, I'll tell you that. But I'm not there yet. And that's not a slight on me. It's a more work on me part. I got to get deeper in therapy. You got to explore. Like I said, I'm definitely not where I was, but I feel it, and I'm going to take you on this journey. I'm going to do my best to sit with my thoughts long enough to process them, and also have the courage to understand that this is for somebody. Somebody needs to hear this. I've fought so long because I was like, what kind of content do I want to put on YouTube? Because I was like, I want to talk about personal growth. I want to talk about mindset. I want to talk about, those are things I really love talking about. And I always would say, well, my sexuality, like, I don't want to get stuck on that. But that video told me something. It told me that this is the conversation that a lot of people want to have. And maybe I'm saying it in a way that people understand. And so, we go to our AI therapist, and I talked to ChatGPT about it. And Chat was just like, you can't control the door that people come to you through. I was like, brah. Now, Chat be slacking sometimes, right? Because it's Chat gonna always hype you up, right? But that was powerful. You can't control the door that people find you or come to you. Like when they get in the house, yeah, you can show them this room with the personal growth, this room over here. But maybe it's the conversation that they want to have that nobody's having from their unique stance and their perspective, and you have that power. So I'm just going to walk into that power, and a fear of why I have not walked into this power the way that I plan to going forward is because, like, I don't want to be known as the gay da 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 da. Once again, going through identities and like, oh, I don't want those titles. Well, why not? Somebody out there is calling me an entrepreneur. That's a title. Somebody out there is calling me black. That's a title. Somebody's out there calling me a man. That's a title. Somebody's out there calling me a millennial. That's a title. What about that gayness doesn't sit right with you? I get it. I know now, saying it out loud. It's because even though I found liberation in who I am, there's still just a little taste, just a little tinge, just a little piece, just a little bit. And you don't see it until you sit with these thoughts and you have real conversations with yourself. And that's what I'm doing. It's like, why you tripping over this video doing numbers? I looked at the analytics and I think it was like 200 something like shares, like where people are sharing it out. It's like, where you sharing it to? Where you sending my stuff to, bruh? Wait, are y'all pasting this on Threads? And it's that immediate fear of not being able to control who's consuming it. Is this somebody I was in the military with? Is this somebody that works with my mom, my parents, my this, my dad? Is it somebody, when I say my mom, my godmother, for those who've seen previous videos about my mom passing? It was like, who's seeing this? And what are they saying? Is this stopping any further opportunities for, it's all of that. That's just real. It's all of that. So I have to sit with me and work through this in real time. And so we're going to do it. Brick by brick. We're going to build this. We're going to build me. And this journey of having the conversation is very therapeutic for me to have it out loud. I got to have this out loud. I got to sit with the discomfort. You know how sometimes you like, it's a hot summer day and you hop in that pool, put that toe in that pool, and that water is brr, it's cold in here, and your immediate response is to yank your foot out, your toe out, and not knowing that if you just sit in it long enough that your body will adjust. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting in it. It's uncomfortable and there's a discomfort, but I know my body will adjust to this. All right, that's all I got for y'all. Lock in with your boy, grow with me, subscribe and like this video, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think below. And if you want to lock in with us every single Monday, hit that link in the bio or in the caption below. Until the next one, I'm outie.